Hello. Right, so I'm currently working on a project right now. So I have this piece for a school project, and I need to get this piece attached to it. So to do that, I have this thing right here. So this has a couple of brackets attached, but I talked to one of my friends and they said I could probably just like find a divot or like create a divot here. Now what I was also most likely thinking is using this bracket, like kind of cutting it in half, just attaching it kind of right there, like adjusting it right there. So we shall see. I also got to do the same thing for this bottom piece. That one I don't think will be as hard. So first thing I want to do is we're just going to open. So now we have the bracket. I do want to make copies of all of these, so I'm going to go back to the home. Refresh. And then let's see. Did not pull up here, so gonna open. Let's get the master assembly. The playground. Laura. So there we go. We're just gonna copy this. Then move to my playground. And then paste again to get the copy. Alright, so now we have this. We want to copy it. Then there we go. Let me just remove that. I'm also gonna delete that one. Alright. Open up that. Wonder. Oh. So dish 0. I am still new to this software a little bit. So if anybody is watching this, which probably isn't, you have some tips for me or like some videos I can watch so I can get better instead of having like go through all this, it would be greatly appreciated. But right now I'm gonna open up, so we have our dish. Going to copy the dish. I'm gonna go to my playground. We're gonna paste it in my playground, and then copy this one. Let me just cut it. And paste. Or not, okay. So we'll copy and paste. There we have the copy right there. Then we'll just delete that. Cool. So now I have a copy of everything I need. So we'll open up my dish copy. Close out that one. So now, let's see. So let's see. Hold up, froze. All right, cool. So kind of creating like a bracket. So we'll cut out like a divot so we can fit that bracket, and then wonder. So since this is my copy, I'll just place this. So just wondering how, if I can just constrain this side to there, I think no, oops. Control X. Forgot the shortcut to, or I can't, whatever. So if I just constrain that part to there, okay, apply, accept relationship. So it does need to be adjusted. So let's see. What I'm thinking is I'll cut out that area. So I'll cut out the area required on this piece right here, I think. Yeah. And then have it line up like internally. So I guess let's just get going. So photo, iode, whatever brackets. I also need to line it up. So let's see where these holes are on the dish. So holes are, let's see, let's just get to measure. So from this edge right here, the fillet, that's 7.5 meters. Okay, so the center has to be 7.5 meters in. Okay, that's not too bad. So let's, okay. I wonder if, so in my dish copy, I just go to the 3D model. So I guess I'll just, get the extrusion. So let's see here. Let's look at the general shape of this. So $10.7, 24, 10.7 and 24. Okay, 10.7 and 24. I want our, we'll dimension it with 10.7, 24. Okay. So, since okay, that was not. So, since we are working with a little bit less space, so I think I'll just design my own bracket that fits the resistor instead of just trying to copy it. So I can just make a little slot. So I can just, okay. So resistor itself, let's look at it from top view, and I'll have it like this. So that is 5.1. 5.1 is 7.4. So, if I recall correctly, I think the project lead said it could just be a fiction fit. So I'll design it like that first, but I'll design a bracket second. So, I forgot, 7.4. 5.1 is 7.4, so to allow for a little bit of tolerance, we'll have this as like 5.2 and 7.5. Okay, so that fits our little triangle slot. And then, so next, I do want this to be center aligned. So which one of these is centered? Collinear, horizontal, symmetric, equal, vertical, fix. I'll just see if it can. Oh, yeah, okay. Since it's not necessarily. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So, after figuring that out, since it's not in the plane, we just go like here. We'll just select the center rectangle. So now we just get a top view. Oops. Okay, interesting. It's not exactly what I planned. Let's do. I can just, I'll fix it later. That still will be 5.2. Oops. Whatever. I'm fixing it anyways. So since it's center aligned with the circle now, we'll just that, and then I'll just connect these. Okay, so now we'll dimension these to the 7.5 like they were originally. If I just collinear, yep. There we go. So now our photoresistor will slot right in there. Let's see, how tall is it? So 1.5. 3. Okay, 3. So we'll just cut in we'll just cut in 3.1. So if it's perfectly in, pretty sure I selected the cut button, but it's whatever. We'll just cut the other way. There we go. So now we have a slot for it to perfectly slide in. Although it can just fall out. Actually, that's what that bracket is for. It'll keep it in. Now, get to the issue of the anodes and cathode right here. So, let's see. If we slot it in right there, it'll fit, and the bracket will go over it. Although I do think it would just be better to have like a fully separate bracket that just slots in. I don't know. So I'll just do both. And then that same bracket can apply to the bottom here. This is also metal though. I believe it's supposed to be made of metal. Yeah, it's the rear plate. Which does make it a little bit trickier to just find a slot, but I'll figure that out. So we have that's where it'll be slotted. So let's just make, we'll save it so far. Then we will, let's see, new button, part. Okay, okay. So, alright. I do like this one where the hole is a little off-center, but I do think it would just be easier to design if we had like a bracket and it goes straight down. Let's go straight down the holes. So let's think. So okay. So let's, we'll measure this length, 7.9. Okay. So first, just want to design the carriage of this piece. So let's look at the original. Okay. Yeah. So 5.2, 7.5. 7.5, 5.2, and then we'll make it, oh wait, sorry, oops. We'll go back to the sketch. So let's just look at this one. So 0.581 all around. Okay. So 0.581. This is total 11. So we'll just do the same thing. So 5.2 plus 0.581, we'll just say 0.58, so that's 0.70. 11, 5.78. Okay, so now I'm going to add this part right here. So that's a little bit fancier than the actual piece. So the piece just has like an arc and then some lines. So I'll just do something similar. We'll just have an arc, oops, tangent arc. Actually, we'll design the three. These are even throughout, so let's just go to this view. Measure from here to here. 4 point, whoops, okay, yeah, that's we'll just measure from there to there. So 2.55 divided by 2, so 2.55 divided by 2, 1.275, and that squares 2 dimensions, so 1.275. The center of the rectangle, so oops. So it's okay, yeah. Okay, so rectangles are 0.2 in width, 0.2 in width, and 1.075 away from here. Actually, from this wall, actually. So there to there, 1.075. Okay, now we'll just hit it with a tangent. Tangent arc, I guess. It's doing the opposite of what I needed to do. It's interesting. That's good enough for me. Let's just look at what the radius for that is. 1.982. .982. 0.075. Actually, I made 1.175. 1.175. I could just start a sketch on this plane to see. So from there to center is 1.28. Since it's 0.1 out, so that'd be 1.18. Okay. Oops. There we go. And then we'll just make arcs from there. Kind of want that the other way. Yeah, so that's all. That's what that's going to do. So I go here to here. Nope. Okay. That is indeed what I wanted to do. Oh, cut that line. Cut that line. Cut that line. So that's 2.44 long. Except so fill it between here and here will be wall, so 1.22. See how that affects it. what I want to do. Okay, there we go. That should make this a little bit easier. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay. Finish. Alright. So let's look at the bracket. So now we're gonna want to actually extend it just a tad. But I'm just gonna see how it looks extruded. So let's first see how tall this one is. 3 millimeters. So the part is actually 3 millimeters tall, but yeah, I get what they're doing. So just extrude these parts 3 millimeters. That's alright. That's 3 millimeters. All the insides. That inside wall is 2.5. So I'll extrude the bottom 0.5. Okay. Alright, now I would like to. Oops. I want it to still show the other parts of extrude. Okay, whatever. It's just a big box anyway. Cancel sketch. Oh, I figured it out. Nice. Okay, so now we have its compartment. Where it'll slide in, cathodes will point out, and so now we will, I think, extrude this wall just a tad. So if this is so if this is 11 long, then that means we'll have to adjust the sketch. We'll make it 11 long and oops, 11. We'll make it 11.1 for tolerance, and then that'll be 5.9 because this is 5.78. We'll just do 5.88. Okay, so now it'll be able to slide in there. That part will fit snugly, and then so I will have to make it longer actually, but that I still have plenty of space, so we'll make it 13.1. So we'll do 2 millimeters before we bend down. So I'll just, if I could adjust this. So, okay, so yeah, that makes it just go from one side. So if I want to lock, if I made this, I'm going to try to figure that out. I can just why is it even? This way. 2. 2. Okay. So now where's the dish copy? Okay. Yep. Finish that. So the 2 meter part will then okay, it just vanished. That's nice. Dimension from here to here. There's a 2 meter part, and then we'll make that cut down. How long will that cut down? .9. We'll have to go all the way and then some, so we'll just make it 9.9. Let's just make it 11. So it has a good bit of clearance. Okay, so now we'll just start 2D sketch on this plane. Make it to vanish. Alright, so if I made that 11 long, we'll say that's probably going to be 10.9. Let's see how this guy did it. So, had the thing, and they had the bend. And the bend is also 3 meters. Okay. Yeah. This should still be 3 meters. Or maybe actually be 2 meters. I could just extend all of that by a meter. But I don't think it really matters all that much. Let's just see what I did with the dish. So it should just be 2 meters. Yep. Okay. Okay. I mean, so, and then I'll just go ahead and add the hole. So this is a prototype design anyways. So let's look at the dish. Oops. Let's see how that is 3.1. And it's a 0.1 for tolerance, so we'll make it a 3. Yep. Well, we'll just, yeah, okay. And the diameter of that circle is 3.4. Okay. So, start 2D sketch, diameter 3.4, dimension from here to here, that'll be 3. And then we'll just hole all the way through. Nice. Okay. So now our bracket, and then it'll be attached. Pretty good. And so it's technically unilevered, but it'll also have the actual bracket itself covering it. So yeah, like this one technically has both of those contact points. Although I'm not exactly sure how it's supposed to like go into, because like the dish isn't, it's kind of a solid block. But if we need one on this face, I don't know what the wires right here are supposed to be doing. But it's a problem for another time. Okay, I think that is all for now. If you are watching this, thank you for watching. Yeah.